This is Second Cutting, a story about land, animals, people, and how they all work together. My name is Amelia Cronin. I'm here in Lowerville, Louisiana with Dr. Shannon Gonsoulin.
So,
Is all grass-fed beef use rotational grazing? That's not necessarily the same thing, is it? The regenerative agriculture. There's different ways to do grass-fed, I'm assuming, and they're not all regenerative.
yeah, they can leave them out on a pasture and don't rotation. Just stay on one pasture. But what they tend to do, cattle, they tend to graze certain areas, and they graze just those
They have their
areas
favorite
because they don't
places.
have to eat everything. And on a rotational standpoint, you put a lot of animals on a small acreage, and they graze it down uniformly. Like if you put a bunch of cows on a small acre, you might have to move them twice a day. That's a lot of
Yeah.
work, right? We try to move our cattle probably 3 or 4 times a week. So we put them to where we ain't got to move them every day, maybe every other day. But again, graze half, leave half, and depending on how much grass you got and how many animals you have, determines how many times you got to move them. So everybody's a little bit different on that standpoint. If you got tall grass, you can leave them in there for maybe a week before they graze it down enough to where you have to move them. If you got short grass, you better be ready to move them maybe that afternoon, so it depends. So everybody is a little bit different, but it's all kind of the same practice. You put them into a pasture and you rotate them every so many days to keep grass in front of them. And the pasture you leave has a certain amount of time to regrow, right? So normally 21 to 30 days is the time frame to get pasture to get back enough to where you can come back in and graze it again. So we try to make sure we don't come back for a month in those same pastures. That's kind of how we use that as our guidelines. And sometimes, depending on the weather and everything else, it might change. We might not get back for 45 days. We might have to put them in there in 20 days. It just depends. So a lot of variables work with you on that.